I had a question because
Talk to
I
me.
feel like a lot of people kind of deal with like what was going on in your life at that point where like I'm bringing you back,
Hmm.
where everything seemed like it was lost and it was hopeless, and
Yep.
you were drinking super heavy, you were
Yep.
staying in bed, and you talked yourself into this thing one time after seeing this rocket on the TV, right? But I wanted to ask, like, how many times did you try to talk yourself into that? You know, to where it finally made sense, and you're finally like, all right, I'm getting up. I'm gonna change like what's going on here.
Every single day, I would be in a battle with myself. See, I choose to believe that people innately want to do well,
Hmm.
they want to thrive. You're not an idiot. You know when you're not doing well, you know when you're quietly giving up on yourself. I personally believe that the hardest working kid, for example, in a classroom is not the kid getting A's, it's the kid who's failing.
Hmm.
Like, do you know how hard it is to sit in a classroom and day in and day out know that you're not rising to your potential and you don't know how to bridge the gap?
Hmm.
And so I believe that people change for one of two reasons. They either have a moment of clarity about what they truly want and what truly matters, or in my case, you have so much pain building up that the scales tip when it comes to brain wiring and motivation, and staying where you're at is actually more painful than avoiding the things that you've been talking yourself out of doing for years. And so, whether that's leaving the relationship, or it's quitting alcohol, or it's getting out of bed, or it's looking for the job, that there is a certain amount of pain that a lot of people need. I am one of them, in order to jumpstart the circuitry in your brain to go at the thing that you've been avoiding. And the brain, and this is, in researching and writing the Let Them Theory book, one of the most fascinating experts, there's like 57 world renowned experts that contributed to the book and I spoke to in researching and creating this theory. Dr. K. Do you guys know Dr. K? He goes
No,
by the Healthy Gamer online. He's fucking, you got to have him on. He's unbelievable.
it's dope.
Oh, beyond dope. He got
All
like
right,
a
let's take a note. Healthy
healthy
Dr.
gamer.
K.
Healthy
Dr. K.
gamer.
Yeah, so he'll tell you his whole story, but he basically nearly failed out of college, applied to medical school 93 times until he got in, and ends up finally getting into medical school, and he becomes a psychiatrist and gets into the Harvard system and specializes in gaming addiction, and studied the circuitry of the brain and what motivates people in his desire to help kids and help people who were addicted to gaming. Long and the short of it is, his research is so amazing. And now he's online as a healthy gamer. He's on Twitch all the time. And he also trains other therapists in the different practices that he has been using clinically. But he basically said, none of us understand our motivational circuitry. Your brain is not wired to do the thing that's hard. Your brain defaults to what feels easy.
Yeah.
And that's just how you're wired. And when you recognize, oh, wait a minute, motivation's garbage, my brain will avoid the thing that's hard. That's why we sit on the couch. That's why we scroll for an hour.
You almost have to be defiant, right?
You do.
To
He
your
actually
brain.
says
You have to.
that one of his strategies is, you're sitting on the couch, you've been there too long, you promised yourself you'd work on your resume or you'd work on your business plan, you'd go
This is
for
the
a
thing
walk.
I was saying. For me, I have to be defiant. I have to be like, you don't be an asshole.
Yeah.
You
Get
have
up.
Well,
10
the
more.
edge is important.
Yeah.
The edge is important
Yeah.
because the edge snaps you out of the emotional like lull that you're in, because you're now in this kind of zombie loop as you're sitting on the couch and you're flipping through the channels. You told yourself you'd go to the gym. You told yourself you'd make the phone call. He recommends that you say, I know I don't want to do it. I'm doing it anyway. I'm going to go do this thing. Like, you talk back to yourself in a way like, fuck, like what you're trying, fuck off. Don't be an asshole. I know it's going to suck, but I'm doing it. And that signals to the brain, you can stop resisting it now because I hear you, but we're doing it. And so I love his research because I was in that conflict. I think anybody who has not gotten to a point in their life where they're sort of in a zone, right? And you feel like you're working on something that's important to you and you feel pretty good about who you are as a person and you're trying your best. If you're not in that zone, you are in tension with yourself because you yourself know there is some bigger possibility for you. You yourself know that the decisions that you're making, whether it's drinking too much or letting your body go or being a dick to your family or like not figuring your stuff out and or taking a break from dating because you're in this cycle of just being with the wrong people, you know.
Yeah. You need to step up and
Well, you need a moment where you're like, how this is going isn't working anymore.
yeah.
And people only get that because of clarity or pain. And often you need the pain to get the clarity. And so for me, it was a couple years of being in conflict with myself. And once I had a tool, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, to help me push through my own resistance to changing, my own overwhelm, the very real excuses. Like one of the sayings that I hate that saying, everything happens for a reason. I don't believe that. I believe life can be very unfair. I believe shit can happen to you that you do not deserve. But I think what that saying means is that things happen to you and you have an option to find a reason to keep going. You have the ability to have a reason to make a change.
Could that not be like, if everything happens for a reason, could that not be the reason that it happened to you was to give you fuel for your fire?
That presumes that you deserved the horrible thing. And I don't like that you actually needed it. I think you can reframe after you're through it. Like I would never say to anybody, oh, your father died. Well, it happened for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
Like you need to get your shit together. Like that's not true. Like there's shitty things that happen to people. They do not deserve it. It can be random and cruel and unfair. And you still, through your attitude and your actions, can change something for the better and find a reason to start where you are, despite the things that you may have experienced, and still move forward. Can you learn from the terrible things? Of course.
Yeah.
And we often do. But I don't think that means you deserve it.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I don't think that the idea, but do you think that that's what that means when
Yes,
you say?
I do. I think people get very...
No, but about deserving it.
No, I think when people throw around, everything happens for a reason. They're
well, most
talking
people are
about,
using it as a just a saying to say la vie.
Yes, but I am somebody that really believes deeply in understanding some of the things that are happening around the world that are unfair to people.
Yeah.
That it is true that based on, where you were born or what circumstances you were born into, there are unfair disadvantages that are stacked against you. Does that mean you're not going to be successful? Of course not. But I think it's important to really be honest and meet people where they are. Yeah. Because there's a lot of people that have had really shitty things happen to them that were not their fault, that happened in their childhood. And you can get beyond your childhood and do a lot of work to understand how things that happened that were not your fault truly shaped you as an adult. And you can change and you can reframe things and you can see how something that happened way back there, it didn't happen for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
I found a reason to reframe it.
Okay.
And to put it into a context so that it no longer had power over me.
Not a damn chance. Not a damn chance.